The culture wars in the classroom continue as conservative school board members remove literature that they deem unsuitable for kids. And not just kids, but of course high school students as well. In fact, one parent, backed by several librarians, is actually fighting back against members that proposed a literal book burning. Now again, you have a school board that is advocating for burning books. So this is what they're doing. Okay? Now, two members of the Spotsylvania County School Board last week proposed burning books the school board had just unanimously voted to ban from high school libraries on the grounds that parents should see that their children are being protected from damaging reading materials. So now, look, I'm going to give you an example here. One of the books that was targeted by the board is called 33 Snowfish by author Adam Rapp. So now this book is a struggle. It's about the struggles of three homeless teens escaping from pasts that include abuse, prostitution, and drug addiction. So look, understand that these are heavy topics, okay? But this book was also designed for teenagers 15 and up. So now this book actually won the American Library Association's award for Best Book for Young Adults in 2004 and is recommended for ages 15 and up. That is the vast majority of high school students. So now the critical reception for 33 Snowfish has actually been generally positive, with the book gathering praise from the School Library Journal and Kirkus Reviews. Publishers Weekly commented on the book's language and content, stating that readers may have trouble stomaching the language, which again is harsh, as well as the horrors so flatly depicted, and in the end, so handily overcome. A reviewer for Cleot also mentioned the book's mature themes, saying the book was not for every taste, but the grittiness and realistic dialogue here may help this bleak, though and ultimately uplifting novel find a readership, again, among young adults. In fact, the English Journal commented on the book's mature themes, citing it as one of several books that would help challenge teen readers. So I don't think there's any issue with challenging teenagers. Again, they're not little children. They are teenagers. But see, here's the thing. For conservatives, we can't do that. No, we must put high school students in a bubble. We must shelter them all to where they cannot read books. They must instead only read Dr. Seuss and the Bible. Literally, if they can make people read the Bible in school, they would absolutely. And by the way, the Bible's kind of a violent book too. Weird. But now, what's funny is, and kind of ironic, and I'm sure some of you have probably noticed this as well. So conservatives have always done this. They've always done book bannings, book burnings, trying to protect children from obscene material. And then later on in life, when they grow up, they call those same kids snowflakes and say, oh, participation trophies. Why are you so easily triggered? Wait, maybe that's because people were sheltered, overly sheltered, and are sensitive because they weren't exposed to these things when they were age appropriate. Weird, huh? Weird. I wonder how that happens. But anyway, again, apparently conservatives do this way over protection, and it is harmful overall. And look, by the way, I'm not saying like give a bunch of 14-year-olds hustlers or anything like that. No. But what I'm saying is that people, younger people, 15 and up, should be able to handle some young adult themed literatures in high school. But of course, as I mentioned, conservatives disagree, and disagree so much, they literally wanted to take this book and not just ban it, but burn it in a fire. In fact, there's two board members, Rabi Abouismal. How abysmal. That's just what I'm going to call him from now on. He says that he believes that, quote, we should throw these books in a fire while fellow board member Kirk Twigg added that he wants to see the books before we burn them so we can identify within our community that we are eradicating this bad stuff. And he also said, of more books, there is some bad, evil-related material that we have to be careful of and look at. Evil. The books they're so evil, they're going to make you do evil. That's what it is. And now, I don't know about you, but I don't think that people will read a fictional book and then, see the things that are in the book and go, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go do that. That's insane. No, they're not going to do the thing. They're smarter than that. Again, there is references to prostitution in this book, but that's going to make somebody, you don't hear people saying, I once read about prostitution in a book, now I want to go do prostitution. Said no one ever. And by the way, if as an adult, you do want to go into sex work, that's totally valid. As an adult. So, but anyway, isn't it weird? Like, do they think that people who read Harry Potter or something in high school are thinking, I am definitely going to go to Hogwarts? That is something that is going to happen. I'm going to try to apply there and see what happens. No, they can differentiate between reality and fiction. But apparently, though, there are some conservatives who can't, because they're like, I read in the Bible that we are all going to get sucked up into heaven with Jesus' holy dustbuster. And so I'm just waiting for that to happen. So I guess that there are adults out there that really can't distinguish fantasy from reality. But you know what? Most people are not like that. You've got to stop treating children, ironically, or teenagers, 15 through 20-year-olds, 15 through 19-year-olds, as if they're infants. They're growing young adults. And yes, they're going to make mistakes. And yes, there are many things that they do not know, which is why you have to guide them appropriately, but not shelter them and over-shelter them. Because once the real world hits, boy, the real world ain't so nice. You got to prepare them. And if you do so, you will find that most younger people are more able and better able to handle the realities of the world if you actually take the time to instruct them what's going on about it. And by the way, younger people are some of the most connected people today and might actually be able to teach you something. Just saying. But now the school board, going back to that. Now the school board, there were parents that pushed back against the school board. Okay, and this was during a contentious meeting that happened on Monday. So according to Fredericksburg Freelance Star reporter Adele Ufas Connor, one librarian went after the board's decision to remove the books as symbolic of having a weak and insecure intellect. Quote, if you have a worldview that can be undone by a novel, let me suggest the problem is not the novel. Yes. I love it because it's true. 100%. 100%. Okay. One parent at the meeting also singled out a board member, Robbie Buismail, for criticism, as he was the first member to propose burning books. And he said this, quote, your behavior is the most egregious example of unprofessionalism I have ever witnessed. The only course of action I see fit for you is a formal public apology to all those librarians in the country and for you to submit your resignation from the school board. Another librarian in the county also singled out him, Buismail, for criticism and told him that, quote, you have labeled books you have no knowledge of and place shame upon them. This is what happens when you have conservatives that take over school boards. They ban the books, and they over-shelter teenagers from learning. And this is, by the way, the whole thing is a critical race theory as well. They're trying to shelter teenagers from history, younger people from history, so that they don't learn the real history of the United States. And of course, the logic goes that if they don't learn about these things early on, then they're not going to do anything about it. And that's what they really want. And this is why, of course, they're in the middle of taking over school boards right now. This is a astroturfed, by the billionaires, the donors like the Kochs, Dennis Prager, all these different, Ben Shapiro. They're all Mike Huckabee, another good example of trying to indoctrinate children by not teaching them facts. And it's funny because they consider what we're doing, teaching facts and actual history, as indoctrination, while they're literally doing indoctrination. It's absolute projection. And these same people, by the way, who cry about Twitter censorship and cancel culture, they're banning books, they're burning books, they're promoting cringe like Let's Go Brandon instead of actually saying fuck Joe Biden, which, hey, fuck Joe Biden, because I can use big boy words. It kind of sounds like y'all are for censorship. And not because the material isn't able to be understood by a teenage mind. No, it's because it can be. And it can broaden horizons. It can teach people lessons. They don't want people to understand and develop empathy or have different world views. These people are afraid that younger people are going to continue to be overwhelmingly progressive and are accepting of things that they would consider to be immoral. The parents, the older generations. And again, this is ultimately the goal of the culture war. The whole reason there's a culture war is to change the culture. And they're going after the children in order to change the culture, to impose upon them their own morality instead of allowing the kids to grow up into their own morality through both their information, facts, and learned experience. And the reason they're doing this, of course, is to allow their older aggressive ideas to propagate into the future. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.